agarrar, agarrar de la mano, agarrar de la mano. This is another phrase. It's not an expression, it's an action, pretty much. And I want to talk about this one because it's a common action that can happen in different situations. And we're talking about to hold someone's hand, okay? Agarrar de la mano. You can also say agarrar la mano without de, but this whole phrase means to hold someone's hand. It's a more it's a more common thing to say, specifically when you're holding for example, your kid's hands because you're gonna cross the street, or when you're holding your girlfriend or boyfriend's hand. You can use this as well. Can be used in a romantic situation or in a situation where you need to be careful when crossing a street and you have to hold your kid's hand. That's a common thing, and you can use this phrase for that as well. So, agarrar, once again, to hold. In this situation, it means to hold. It's very interesting because agarrar means to grab, to take something, right? But also it means to hold, specifically when holding hands, okay? De la mano, de means from or of. Literal translation, it doesn't apply here. The mano means hand. La mano, the hand. Las manos, the hands, okay? So, agarrar de la mano, to hold someone's hand. That's what it means. Let's look at some examples using this phrase. Quiero agarrarte. Oops, I forgot an R there. Quiero agarrarte de la mano. ¿Puedo? Quiero agarrarte de la mano. ¿Puedo? This means I want to hold your hand. May I? Okay. So, maybe you are seeing someone and you just want to hold the person's hand because it's romantic. And this is a polite way to ask if you can hold that person's hand. Okay. Sometimes it happens naturally. Sometimes, it's a little awkward, or, if it's awkward, I don't know if it's a good thing, but I don't know. Regardless, if you want to ask this in Spanish, you can. Quiero, yo quiero. We don't need yo. We need quiero. Means I want. Okay. Quiero pizza. I want pizza. Quiero correr. I want to run. Quiero leer. I want to read. Quiero un café. I want a cup of coffee. So quiero is a common, obviously it comes from the verb querer, and it's a common way to say I want in Spanish. Agarrarte, we have the verb agarrar, and then we just put a pronoun in there. We just put it there. And the pronoun is te, and that means agarrarte means I want to hold you. But it sounds weird. Why are we saying I want to hold you? You don't want to hold the person, you want to hold the hand. It's a common thing to do in Spanish to say quiero darte algo. For example, I want to give you something. Quiero agarrarte de la mano. It's a common thing to say if you want to say I want to hold your hand. You can say quiero agarrar tu mano. that's fine, but it sounds a bit robotic, you know? It sounds a bit robotic. So if you want to say, I want to hold your hand, you can say, quiero agarrarte, and then de la mano. Agarrarte, to hold. De la mano, that phrase there means, to just hold you specifically, but just your hand, not your entire you, just your hand, okay? So your hand. Agárrense de las manos. Hold hands. So that's a similar, that phrase there, de la mano, it's like saying, hands, as in agarrar, hold, and then hands, hold hands. Agárrense de las manos, hold hands. Agarrarte de la mano, hold your hand. Okay, so that's why we have this pronoun. It's being more specific. You're saying, I want to hold your hand, not anybody else's hand, just your hand. Okay, so that's why it's there, and it sounds more natural in Spanish. You can change this to, for example, you want to hold his hand, right? Quiero agarrarle de la mano. I want to hold his hand. Or you can say, this also means I want to hold her hand, by the way. Quiero agarrarles de la mano. And that means I want to hold you guys, your hand. Okay, so this is plural. You plural. Agarrarles. So keep that in mind. Reflexive pronouns are everywhere in Spanish, and you can see how it works there. You can add the different reflexive pronouns to verbs to be more specific. It works. It works like that in Spanish. I know it can be confusing, but that's the way it is. Did I say buts? But that's the way it is. Anyways, okay. Puedo. This is the easiest way to say may I. Okay, may I. You can just say puedo. Puedo. May I? Puedo. Even you don't need to be that specific about what you want to do. Just if you do something with your hands, like may I, as in maybe taking I don't know, a snack, or to go inside, or to help someone with something, you can just say puedo, right? Obviously, you can add more if you want, but puedo is a great way to say may I. Okay, so yeah, that's a very good one, huh? Very good one. Okay, so let's move on and let's look at the next example. Agárrame de la mano, agárrame de la mano, no quiero que te pierdas. Agárrame de la mano, no quiero que te pierdas. This is a great sentence to say, especially to your kids, because they can just run everywhere and, get lost. I mean, that's an awful thing, but you can say this, to your kid, hold my hand. I don't want you to get lost. Okay, so this is an important thing. Let's break this down. Agárrame. Here we go again. We have the reflexive pronoun me. Agarrar is here. It's tú agarra. It's a command. Agárrame. You're not asking, would you like to hold my hand? No, you're saying, take my hand, hold my hand. So that's why agárrame is a command, and agarra means hold. Me, in this situation, similar to saying my. Okay, but essentially you're saying, just hold me, hold my hand. De la mano, again, we have the term that pretty much means hand, okay? I know it doesn't make sense, but it's a term that refers to, hold hands, or it's used commonly to say hold hands, take my hand, or I want to take your hand. So all of that, de la mano, it's like saying from the hand. I know it doesn't make sense, but that's the literal translation. No quiero. No quiero means I don't want. No quiero pizza. I don't want pizza. I mean, said no one ever, but that's an easy example. No quiero means I don't want something. In this situation, que means what and that. But when you say no quiero que, it's like you want to add more to the sentence. It's like saying I don't want that. But in English, sometimes that is used. Sometimes you can drop it. In this situation, you need it. You need it. No quiero que, I don't want, ... Tú te pierdas. Okay? Tú te pierdas means you to get lost, similar to saying that. Perderse, this verb is a reflexive reflexive verb, and the pronunciation is perderse. And when I add se to the verb, that means that you can use reflexive pronouns. Oh, what a surprise. But yeah, you can use reflexive pronouns with that verb. And perderse means to get lost. Okay? So keep in mind that you need to use reflexive pronouns. Agárrame de la mano, hold my hand. You can just say that by itself and it just means hold my hand. It can be used in different situations. No quiero que te pierdas. I don't want you to get lost. Okay? So very easy. It's a very good phrase. Agarrar de la mano means to hold someone's hand.